Welcome to the Inner Knowing podcast. It is Sagittarius season. I, if you do not know, am a Sagittarius, and it is time for us to take full advantage of this energy. Today, we are going to talk about, in this season of expansion, truth telling, and permission. You don't need permission from the world. Is that permission from within? It's a thing that I have been focused on or noticing is giving myself bigger and bigger permission to do more of the things that I feel are bold, audacious, beyond my comfort zone, beyond something I've done before. And so maybe you're doing this, feeling the same way, doing the same things. And so if this resonates, you're probably feeling a pull towards something new, a desire that won't quiet down. There's a creation that you know is yours, but you haven't fully claimed it yet. And Sagittarius, we got lots of great questions. We're philosophers, but it's like, what are you ready to say yes to and go after with full force? And not the thing that's your mind is so familiar with that you know you're going to achieve. It's the niggling part of you that wants to go beyond the known. Let's say you've only ever had a job at a certain level. You want to go from 100 to 150 or 200,000. You want to go from an individual contributor to leading a massive team. You want to go from running a retreat for 5 people to 25 people. It's something that's far beyond the thing that you physically experienced, but still within that realm of like, I know it's here. I know it's for me. I know I'm being called. And so let's get honest with ourselves and let the Sagittarius season propel us forward into that. We love the propulsion. So we're going to talk about permission, intuitive creation, nervous system safety, big one. And then, a moment to finally say yes to the life that's been choosing you all along. The thing that won't go away, the part of you that keeps coming back to it over and over again. For me, the podcast has been one of them. You should know I've recorded 3 seasons total, but only one is out there. Listen, it is what it is. So in this season of podcasting, I do like the idea of doing a series of episodes. I'm going to take the episodes that I recorded earlier this year while I was still living in Tulum, combine them with, new conversations I'm having live each week. I'm going to expand. We're going to go do the damn thing. Are you excited? So the thing I'm noticing with myself, with the clients I'm working with, it's that they have an idea of what they're going after. They actually know their calling. They've felt it before. They have some level of clarity when we really get quiet in our sessions. They're able to connect into it. And the next thing they're looking for is the permission. What does permission mean? It's that inner yes to say, like, I can go after this. I don't have to have all the answers. I'll figure it out as I go. I will build the plane on the way down, or is it parachute? But you know what I'm saying. And so figuring out how to give yourself permission consistently enough to go after those audacious goals, to do more than what you're at now because you feel called to more, whatever more might be for you. And so some of the big shifts that you might notice are going from external validation to internal validation. To creating nervous system safety. So sometimes people that are waiting for permission will go and do something very explosive, really big, but they can't hold it because they didn't do the inner work to make sure it felt safe within their, shifting belief systems that are outdated, shifting into a nervous system that's calibrated. And a calibrated nervous system isn't that you're always calm, cool, and collected, but that you can return back to those places with fairly consistent ease because you have the right tools, you've done the work. You've expanded your nervous system to hold more versus regulating in a smaller window, expanding for more. So exciting. And in all of that, it means that you're regulated or you know how to return to regulation. You're saying yes to those inner knowings, and then you're taking the action that your intuition is guiding you to take. How exciting. And all of that is more easeful when you really tune in and say, okay, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to commit to it. I give myself permission to go after the thing that I'm deeply, deeply desiring. And so we move then from you give yourself the permission, and now you're going to get into alignment, which is also the work that I've put myself through in the last few weeks recently in preparation for this. And alignment for me means a certain level of commitment to moving my body, a commitment to scheduled time to work in the business, on the business, and then calibrating my nervous system. So doing a lot of like meditating, breath work. I have a few tools I really like in terms of nervous system regulation, inner child work, and all of it permits me to then feel grounded, safe, and aligned to come and show up here. And part of that is not only just showing up here, but the place in which I've fallen down in the past, which is why I have 3 seasons unreleased, is to hold it when it's out in the world. So to feel safe regardless of how it's received, what happens. It was, I don't know if you've run into Rick Rubin. I really like Rick Rubin in some ways. Other ways maybe you're challenging, but that the artist creates irrespective of what the audience thinks of it, meaning you're called to create. That's where your portion starts and ends. And once it's released into the world, in some ways, it's none of your business. So I'm not talking about you said something inappropriate. You probably got to take accountability, but you're not there to please the audience insofar that it's going to be a limit for you. You're there to respond to, work with, jive with the energy. But if you're at the mercy of your audience to the point that you are unable to create, then the process is broken for you. So can you create, release into the world, feel so sure of what you're creating and being so deeply in your center that whatever comes back. So something that really always gets me, I've only had it like small amounts, little trolls, little nitpickers. Nitpicking is like, gets me in the heart space. And I'm like, get out of here, get a life, go nitpick somebody else. But that'll maybe be the thing that I get to work on, is discovering that. Maybe I've moved past it. We'll see how, what comes back to me from all of this. So in your own world, where are you waiting for permission? Where are you standing on the edge? Where are you ready to take the leap? Can you regulate your nervous system and take the next aligned action to make it happen? Yes, you can. Also, because I'm partial to Sagittarius season, which means action, forward, motion. Tell you a little bit about Sagittarius, just for the fun of it. It's a mutable fire sign, which means you're flexible in your expansion. There's a roadblock. You're just going to build a road around it. You're going to jump over it. You're going to get a pole vault right over it. You will have a flexible way to solve your problems in this energy. We're ruled by Jupiter as Sagittarians. Growth, luck, making big moves. Archer, we're going to aim for the higher truth. We're not going to go for that piddly-diddly basic surface level. We're getting to the real shit. Getting excited. And the things that will be more noticeable this season are things where there's misalignment, shrinking, hiding, people pleasing. All things I can be guilty of. Don't look at me. Listen, I have a Leo moon as well. The shadow be shadowing. So, some reflection questions for you. Come back to it, write it down now, say it into your mind as I'm saying it, and maybe you might notice a response. Are you ready? Where have you felt yourself outgrowing something? An old habit, a whole behavior, a way that you connect with people. Where have you felt yourself outgrowing something? Where are you whispering instead of speaking your truth? This is the big one. Where are you whispering instead of speaking your truth? And while you answer that question, if you need a little support, you can put your hands on your throat chakra for a little additional support in responding to that question. In my world, what I noticed was I'm not emphatically sharing the work that I believe I do and what I create. So I know what is true in my reality, but I share it sometimes as an apology instead of a celebration. So I'm working on that. Fuck yeah, you should go to my breath work. Fuck yeah, you should sign up for the one-on-one. Fuck yeah, you should follow my programs that I'm going to create, because what I create is so in deep alignment that the transformation that you experience is life-changing. But I'm not always talking like that excitedly. So that's my practice of the things that I do create. I can't solve all the world's problems, but the places that I'm called to be and the ways that I show up, especially when I respond in alignment to the old spirit team upstairs. That's just the bum.com for the right person. And then what do you secretly want more of? Do you want more money, more time, more aligned friends, more sauna? I always want more sauna. Take that back. I can only do 10 minutes, but I want more sauna in the way of that experience of lounging, chilling, sauna, I can't even do cold plunge anymore. A moderately cold shower, but I want more of that. So what do you secretly want more of? Uh, I think also for me, it's like, I want more people to be in my breath work. I want more people to be within my work. But I've been showing up like I don't actually want that. So what's your version? What's happening in your world? Shall we do a little inward reflection on this? So let's perhaps we can do some somatic body checking if this feels supportive. What that means is we are going to ask our body questions that are yes or no questions to help us figure out what's truly the thing we want to create from our heart space today into Sagittarius season and not in our mind. So what does that look like? Muscle testing. There's lots of different ways that people will teach it. For today's practice, you're going to have your feet square on the ground, and you are going to put your hands on your body and you're going to say, body, show me yes. Yes, 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 yes. And you might notice that your body rocks forwards. Some people go side to side, but if you can connect in with going forwards or backwards, that's usually the easiest signal to receive. And then body, show me no, 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 no. And you'll go backwards. And so I'm going to ask you these prompts. And if you need support from your own body, you can turn them into yes or no questions until you get to the answer. So we'll go with the first one and I'll give you some options for yes or no. If your soul made the decision today, the thing you really want to go after, what would it choose? What would it choose? What was the ultimate thing? And so the example is if your mind has a bunch of list of things you want to go after, you could say from my soul's perspective, is it a yes or a no? And you could go through it and go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. As an example, until you get to the most aligned one. And that's how you would work it down as a yes, no question. What desire keeps returning? And not from that thinking mind, from really just like, God, that'd be so cool. I'd love to do that thing, host that, be that, go there, whatever it is for you. What project or creation scares you in the best way? I heard this recently where the thing that you're truly called to do will scare you. You'll have resistance. Resistance is actually a good thing. When I host breath work, I like to tell people, if you feel resistance, it means something really good is going to come up in the session because your soul knows, your ego knows you're about to release, shift, or reveal something that's been doing a pretty good job of being hidden or at least not being seen with total clarity. So resistance can be a positive, not a stop sign, but it's a curiosity point to go into. What version of you is ready to be seen? Things that I find with clients that are blockers in all of this, most of the people that come to me are smart, they found success, they've moved from their mind, meaning they figured it out, they did all the right things, they followed the patterns, but they might end up now being stuck because you're thinking too much. All that time thinking and figuring things out, but you're thinking too much. Our mind only can reference the known, the familiar. You probably don't want to create what you already know because you probably wouldn't be dissatisfied or here with like a craving for more. So you have to get out of the mind because the heart and the soul and your intuition are accessing beyond the mind. So signal that you're stuck in a loop, you're overthinking. Overthinking will feel like repetitive, fast thoughts. You're waiting. You're waiting for the right time, the right lighting. You're waiting to lose 10 pounds. You're waiting to get more, whatever you're waiting for. Is it really a limit or is it just another excuse? I think for me, it was just another excuse, but I loved it. Very valid in it. But it's not true. You're looping. You notice that you continually, I have a client who wanted to change locations, but they would almost make the change and then come back to that same point. No problem. There's probably a belief system barrier, something that would transform the other side of it that you haven't yet shifted within. But she kept looping and looping and looping. You got to get honest with yourself. What are you more committed to that keeps you in the loop? And what would you have to become committed to get out of the loop? Just don't lie to yourself. Just be honest. Sagittarius season. We love a little honesty. Oh my God, I love this one. Because I do it. You're asking ChatGPT instead of your intuition. I'm sorry. What? I know. I do it. I do it all the time. It's actually wrong. I love it. Do you really think, though, that the machine knows more than your spirit, soul, and your intuition when you truly get quiet? No, you don't. But it's easier. It's satisfying. It's a specific answer. We love all those things. You need to come back to a practice to get you into your intuition so you can listen to that with greater ease. And then the big one, because I've been sitting on my example, I've been sitting on for a long time. You're postponing your expansion to stay safe. Boring. Do it myself, but boring. So boring. So boring to watch other people go after their dreams and have that knowing inside of you that that's, a version of you, that's a part of you. It's activating what's in you that you want to go after it too. So boring. Boring. Don't do that. But what are the common themes I see in this overthinking, looping, waiting? A need for control, wanting to only do what's familiar, a nervous system that's calibrated to staying safe, but hasn't created safety and change, meaning I'm always safe in every moment, no matter what I'm doing. I've always been okay in the past. I'll always be okay in the future. I am my one true source, but they have to come back into that knowing. They have to remember how to trust themselves. They have to feel their feelings. Oh my God. We have to do a whole episode on feeling our feelings for our intuition. But they're usually worried about the dysregulation. I touch a little bit of dysregulation. They're wanting control. They're avoidant of discomfort. Discomfort's okay. That's why I like it when it comes up in breath work, actually, because it helps us somatically rewire it. And the really big one, you're thinking your feelings. And so you got to follow your intuition and be in your body, which happens through nervous system regulation and safety to be present. So you're maybe thinking your feelings. You're overthinking. You're trying to be in control. You're avoiding discomfort. Fair, but boring. Those are all familiar paths that you've done before that aren't working for you. So let's try something new. Let's try following our intuition and going after it, being okay to succeed or fail, to iterate, to grow from. Sag season, we love this for you. I'll give you some examples before we dive into a little bit of, we'll just do a little regulating activation so that you can go after yourself and get it done. I think a few big examples. I was living in Canada in 2022. It was February. I know this. It's February. Travel from Canada and also where I wanted to go was not available. It's like, okay. Spirit told me I was leaving Canada and I was going to go to a retreat for a week. I was going to leave my whole life in Canada for this 1 week retreat in Spain. It's like, well, that's insane. One, I'd already been to, it was a breathwork training. I'm like, I've already been to the breathwork training. So why would I go back again? And why would I leave my whole life for 1 week in Spain? But I was like, okay. And so Spirit said, bye. This is crazy. Spirit, and I don't always get audible messages, just so you know, but this is just an extreme version. Spirit said, by June 15th, travel will be available. I was like, that's insane. Okay. Book the ticket, signed up for breathwork training in Spain. I give my notice to my landlord. I'm like, sweet baby Jesus, let's see what happens. The travel ban was lifted June 14th. Even I was like, you're good. You guys are good. But I had to wait from February until June to get the confirmation and really just trust the process, realize that perhaps leaving my current environment was what was needed to create a new possibility, that the healing I was receiving in that space in Canada was done for the time being. And so 6 weeks later, now I thought I was moving to Spain. I will say that my brain was like, well, I must be moving to Spain. I'll apply to a visa. That didn't work out. Couldn't get the visa, couldn't figure it out. But I took the action. I trusted. I waited. I'm sure I spun out multiple times, but I came back to what was true. My body was so clear that it was a yes. So those are that's a big example. A small example would be this morning. It's sunny where I'm living in Vancouver right now. It's November. Those two things aren't always happening simultaneously here. And I went to go and have a coffee and read my book. And my whole body was like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. I was like, but I just want to do it. They go, no, you have to go home and record this podcast. And it's not like it's always so audible, but it's this inner feeling of discomfort. And then I start asking myself yes or no questions. And I was like, okay, I'll stop avoiding what I've been avoiding. I'm really worried that I'm not going to do it well. It won't be clear. No one will receive it. I'll sound like a ninny. I'll go off on a tangent. I won't do it right. Okay, cool. Gonna do it anyways. That's what I had to come to. Gonna do it anyways. Gonna ground. put on some music beforehand, set the scene, get the smells smelling beautifully, pour myself another cup of coffee. Right choice on the coffee? We don't know, but that's just what I did. And so now here I am. So whether it is a big thing or a small thing, you want to follow it. Be audacious. And I don't know what's going to happen from this one saying yes, but it might be the exact thing I need to have it, snowball into whatever I'm being called towards. But I can't know the end goal with this in mind. Just like I couldn't know that booking a trip to Spain for a breathwork retreat actually would result in me living in Tulum for 3 years. Bizarre. But this is your reminder. You can know where you're going, but you have to also then take the path without attachment to the exact outcome. But the showing up is the real action step. Continually over and over again with a regulated nervous system, listening to your intuition, taking a break if you need, not quitting, taking a break. This has worked for me. All the clients I have, I see it happening. That's why for some people, showing up to breathwork every 2 weeks is the exact, medicine of continual, consistent tuning in that's right for them. Some people, it's working one-on-one or being in programs. It doesn't matter as long as it's in alignment for you, but it's the consistency over time that makes the difference, because your body and you need to have a relationship, your intuition, you need to have a relationship, your nervous system, and you need to be in relationship, and relationships require you show up. Okay. We're going to do a little closing activation, wrap it all up. For a second, I was like, am I even recording? I would die. I am recording. It's all fine. So if you're doing an activity that is not conducive to these, come back to it. Hopefully you're somewhere you can listen. I believe in walking meditation. So if you're walking, I love a walk in a podcast. That's my favorite thing. I think is it kinesthetic learning when you're moving? It really helps me. I'm an auditory learner. Anyways, sidebar. Okay. You're going to close your eyes if you can. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. You're going to feel yourself in your full body and essence. If you need to, you can call yourself back from all space, time, and dimension. You may have traveled to this moment, to this time, into this presence. Place a hand on your heart and your belly. Take another breath in, and you ask yourself without any attachment, and you'll be very, hopefully surprised that you'll receive something back. What am I ready to create? What am I done postponing? What changes the moment I give myself permission? What am I ready to create? What am I done postponing? What changes the moment I give myself permission? Sagittarius season is your reminder that the life you want is not fantasy. You've not made it up. It is the direction you're being called in. From a real cheesy, it's the arrow that you're waiting to release. So Sag season. I love you. I think you're great. If you feel like support would be helpful, I do online and in-person breathwork sessions where we go into all of these pieces through breath, through energy work, through the chakras, transformational, in person or online. I do have some one-on-one sessions that are kicking off for January of next year. If you want one, let's get it. And I'll have some upcoming retreats. But perhaps the energy of this podcast has been whole, perfect, and complete and deeply activating for you. I hope it has. I love you very much. I will see you on the next episode.